everybody, this is Danny from Worldwide Vets, and today we are joined by Sarah Parsons, who's joining us from Texas, Houston. And we're going to be chatting to her a little bit about the work that she does. She's one of our fabulous Golden Star nominees, and we're really excited to learn more about her. Sarah, thank you so much for joining us on the call today.
Of course. Thank you so much. I'm super excited.
We're excited to have you. Just for those who aren't very familiar with your work, would you mind just taking a moment just to introduce yourself and the organization that you work with?
Of course. So my name is Sarah Parsons. I'm a licensed veterinary technician here in Houston, Texas, and I'm also a social media content creator. I know that's, a weird, something weird to throw out there and something a lot of people don't really know about. But that is, those are my jobs. And the organization that I love working with are called Veterinary Industry Giving Tree. And they are an organization, they're nonprofit, that their goal is to help veterinary professionals that are struggling financially. So I absolutely love their mission and I love working with them. And yeah.
That's such important work. What a cool organization to team up with. I was just wondering, what would a normal day in your life look like?
Define normal, because it's not really, nothing's normal about it. Well, let's see. A normal, I guess, work day for me looks like, because I live at home actually on a ranch in Texas, out in the middle of what a lot of people would call nowhere. And so I have actually 2 kids, and so my day starts off with getting them off to school. We get up very early at 6 a.m., get them off and ready to school. And then if I am working, which a lot of my work entails filming, I go to whatever clinic that I film at. I actually bounce around clinics and film at different clinics. That's where I do a lot of my content, and a lot of clinics have graciously offered up their clinic as kind of a location for me to film at. And so I will drive to whichever clinic it is and I will film and get all the content I need. As far as being a veterinary technician, I do only relief work now. I mainly work ER. And so I do a little bit of relief work, but not as much, honestly, anymore, as far as, I'm, doing a whole lot of filming. And that is something that I feel, very passionate about, because that is what is kind of making a dense impact in the industry. And there's, it's not just making silly videos. It's, there's a lot more to do with, the purpose behind, of course, making my content and everything. But doing the filming, and then, and then I come back, I run errands throughout the day. I do all the stay-at-home mom stuff, and then a lot of my work stuff and everything, get the kids back from school, make dinner, deal with all of the ranch animals. We've got a dog, a barn cat, a bearded dragon, 32 chickens, and 4 ducks. So
full house, definitely
yes,
full house.
and some cows. So it's all crazy. And so then we're, by the end of the day, we're all exhausted. And my husband works construction during the day, so he isn't gone now, of course, until dark. So it's crazy.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like a jam-packed schedule, but it's very, very cool. And obviously you have, the background in vet tech. What inspired you to get into this line of work?
Well, as far as being a veterinary technician or filming the content?
I think filming the content, because I'm pretty sure that that's sort of, why you were nominated for this award and what people are super interested to hear about. I think it's such a cool thing. But if you're willing to share on both, that's great.
Of course. Well, I'll talk more about the content, because that's essentially what people obviously know me for and stuff. Yeah. So getting into the content, it first started off as kind of making, a couple silly videos that I really like making. I do love film, and I also love being a vet tech. And so whenever I kind of combine the two, I, started making these silly little videos, and then a couple of them, went viral. And, I guess taking a step backwards, whenever I was a veterinary technician, I realized that the biggest problems whenever I, would work at whatever clinic that I would be at, that there was a huge problem with mental health, with depression, with anxiety, compassion fatigue, burnout, all of that. They're just everywhere in the veterinary industry. And it was really sad to me that I really didn't run into a whole lot of people that didn't have any issues, whether that was, the mental, emotional, or financial struggles, or, etc. There's just, and everyone knows about the issues, but no one was really willing to do anything about it. No one really knew what to do. Oops. Oh my God.
That's okay. You're back.
Sorry. No one really knew what to do about it. And so I kind of wanted to do something about it. I wanted to make a difference in that area, but I didn't know how. And so whenever I started actually making the videos, I was like, wow, okay, I kind of have a voice now. People, once people know who you are, once people are watching your videos, and it kind of, anything that resonates with them, they're going to watch and they're going to follow you and everything. So I was like, wow, I have to make this a positive thing. I have to, and this is perfect because this is what we need more in the field. So I want to use it for good, and I want to use my platform to inspire people, to make people laugh, and to give kind of people a new look on the industry in a positive way, because a lot of people will, there's other, people that might get on and say, oh, this is this industry is horrible. This industry is so bad. Everyone loves to talk about the bad, but no one, I feel like, can talk about the good. So that was my main reason for, starting the channel and doing that. And I just love to make people laugh and love to make people smile, because they don't get that. And people love to see my videos and relate to them, especially, my following is mainly veterinary professionals, because they love watching my videos and saying, oh my gosh, that totally happens at our clinic. Yeah. And just the funny instances that you wouldn't, necessarily know about if you didn't work in the industry.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. And I think it's so cool that in this day and age, there is the technology to bring people together and a platform to speak about these things. But also, like you said, this is an ongoing thing within the veterinary profession, and a lot of people are too scared to bring it up. So it's so cool that you've created this platform where it's open and it's fun and it's relatable. That's really, really cool.
Thank you. Yes, exactly.
So during your journey so far, obviously, you've had a bunch of different experiences. Is there any experience that's really stuck with you throughout your journey?
I'm trying to think.
Pinpoint one.
Sorry?
It can be quite difficult to pinpoint just one.
No, it's really hard to pinpoint just one. But I'll just talk about an experience that, kind of stuck out to me as a veterinary professional that I would want other veterinary professionals to know about. And that's whenever I worked in one of the ER clinics that I did. And there was this little, Maltipoo that came in, it was dipsnick. It was struggling to breathe. It came in, and, immediately I saw what was going on. It was freaking purple. And so I, kind of, grabbed it from him, told him, exactly what I was going to do. I needed to brush him back because he needs oxygen, etc. I apologize for my phone just going off during all this.
I think
Anyway, so I rushed this patient back, and and we start working on it and everything. And I was like, okay, I need to go, talk to the owner. So I go into the room and I start talking to them, and I close the door and I say, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry, y'all. It's just, I wanted to get, I don't know, I forget what the patient's honestly name is, Bella. I wanted to get Bella back there and, and get started on her, first and foremost before anything. But hi, my name's Sarah. I'm your veterinary technician. And I start talking to them, and they're kind of giving me this weird look the whole time. And I was like, thinking to myself, I'm like, what? Okay. I just keep on going with my spiel, and I'm an animated person. I talk with my hands, and for people that are only listening to this, my hands aren't going everywhere. And and I finish and I say, okay, do you have any questions? And the husband, he looks at me, he says, you must really love your job, don't you? And I was like, oh my gosh, thank you. Like, because normally people, when I get comments like that, people are always, thinking, people are always, telling us, oh, your job must be so hard. Your job must suck. I could never do what you do. I love animals too much. We as veterinary professionals get that so much. But to have someone say that to me means so much more, them telling me you must love your job, and that's awesome that you do, because that is what's going to keep me going, in the career. Not the people that say, oh, I'm so sorry, you're a veterinary technician, or oh, that must, be so horrible euthanizing animals all day. And I'm like, okay, well, thanks. Awesome. You know, so that's what I would love for more people, I guess, to do. More people to do, to talk about the great things about your job. Yes, there's the hardships. I'm not ignoring those. But I think it's so important to focus on what's motivating you in the industry.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's so cool. What a cool experience for somebody to actually point out the positive for once. I do feel like these days there's a lot of negative Nellies at the moment who just sort of harp on about the bad.
Exactly. Yes, so much. I could talk so much about that, but yes.
Okay, well, leading on from that, I guess we would like to know, what do you think is your proudest achievement to date? And it can be something that's really small, something that's really huge, just something that really made you stand back and go like, wow, I was a part of that, or
Well, I'm gonna say two, because I have two things, all right, but I'll make them quick. So the first one is Project Golden Vet, and that is actually something that Veterinary Industry Giving Tree has helped me with. So basically, I had this idea, and like you said, there's a whole bunch of negative Nellies, and they're like, what is this idea, Sarah? You're gonna go to different clinics and just give them a whole bunch of stuff? And I was like, yeah. So that's what Project Golden Vet is. I want to be able to give hardworking, deserving vet clinic teams, baskets of just prizes and gifts and gift cards and money and, experiences, and be able to gift them things to show them that they are appreciated. And there's nothing like this really, out there for the veterinary industry. I feel like there's kind of stuff like this for other fields, but not exactly for the veterinary industry. And so I wanted to help do that, and to show teams are appreciated, and to surprise them and get their genuine and genuine feelings out there, I guess, and emotions, and make them happy, because we need that in the industry. We need positivity. So with Project Golden Vet, actually Veterinary Industry Giving Tree collaborated with me this year, as well as they got NAFTA on board, and we were able to gift a clinic a whole bunch of crazy items. I did a lot of it last year just independently, but getting Veterinary Industry Giving Tree on board was absolutely amazing. We were able to do more for them, and everything. And I know that me and Veterinary Industry Giving Tree share the passion of helping those veterinary professionals who are struggling, because whenever there's financial struggles, that just makes everything that much worse. And so to show these teams they're appreciated, to give them stuff, to give them a little bit of hope, means that much more. And I'm able to also show that on my social media, and show the world also that as well. So I love doing Project Golden Vet. It's so awesome. And we're going to, of course, continue it. And then I also have Camp Vet Med, which is a project that I co-founded with a couple of my colleagues. And Camp Vet Med is a summer camp field day-like experience where veterinary professionals, from everywhere can come. We usually put it the day before a large veterinary conference, and they can come, and we do a whole bunch of field day like summer camp like activities like tug of war and relay races, but they all kind of have a vet med twist to it, because we're veterinary professionals. And so we did our first one this past year in Austin. It was so much fun, and we just had a blast. And it was so great to get veterinary professionals out in the sun, out of the fluorescent lights, and into these teams with each other. And there's these people that didn't know, they don't know each other at all, but by the end of the, day, they're, besties, and they work together, on their teams, and there's a winner at the end and everything. So, just doing those things to kind of enlighten and, keep the positivity in the field. That's all what I'm about. Yeah, what I'm about.
That's very cool. I mean, you clearly exude positive energy, so that's very, very cool.
Thank
This
you.
this question is clearly just because I'm curious, but I was wondering, like, what sort of activities do you do at Camp Vet Med? Can you give me like one example? Because you said tug of war with like a vet med twist. That's just blows my brain. That's so cool.
Well, no, not actually like doing anything with animals. Sorry, no, we can't do that. But like I'm saying, like the names of things. So like for example, we had a game where you tie balloons to your ankles, like each team has their color balloon, and there's 4 teams. You have your red team, your yellow team, your blue team, your green team, and you run around in the field, and you try to pop everyone else's balloons. So if your balloon gets popped, then you're out and the last color is standing. And so we call a lot of the vet med twist thing is basically in the names, and so we will call that pop the abscess, and then the dodgeball is dodge the feral kitty or something. So, we put the vet med names to it, and the teams come up with their team names as well. They get to decorate a flag and everything. So we had the Parvo Rangers, we had the feral kitties, things like that. So the fact that we're all, in vet med, we could create all of that, and people knew what you're talking about, and they're all veterinary professionals, and so there's that common ground that people were able to connect on.
Yeah, that's very cool. Very cool, like wordplay and stuff. I'm sorry, that was completely off the cuff, just me being completely curious about what you're doing. But yeah, so to swing it back around, I mean, obviously we love positivity, and like we've spoken about, some people can be quite negative when you try to confront them with this sort of thing. What on your journey do you think has been one of the most difficult or most challenging things to deal with in the line of work that you do?
Well, and the reason that I feel like a lot of the stuff that I do is, really towards positivity and everything, and towards, change for that, is because I did go through depression, multiple times, actually. I have firsthand experienced it. I went through postpartum depression whenever my first son was born, and then a little while later, and I didn't actually do anything about it until the second time. And that was a big mistake on my first round with it, is, I didn't even know that was going on, and no one really told me, and I didn't, it's just this confusing state of, you don't know really, what's going on with your emotions, but it's hard to realize it. And so realizing that you have depression or anxiety or mental illness of any sort, it's really, really hard. And you have to get help for yourself. So you have to do it. And so I think that's hard for a lot of people, especially for those in the veterinary industry, is they're used to helping others, and they're used to helping the animals, and getting help for yourself is really difficult / a new concept for a lot of them. And so I want to, be able to encourage them to get that help and everything, because I went through it, and and it was really, really hard. I remember going into the doctor's office, that second round of depression, and I was crying. I was talking, and that's, not everyone exhibits depression via crying, but that's how, mine was. And so I was crying to the doctor, and I was like, and I just don't know if I need to do anything about it. And she says, "Sarah, you're sitting in my office crying. Like,
You're
something
doing something
to be done about it." And I was like, okay. So I really think that a lot of people, of course, hopefully need to realize that, getting help for yourself, because no one else is going to do it for you. You've got to do it for yourself. And that's the biggest, I feel like that's one of the biggest things, negative experiences, I guess, that I've overcome, is going through that depression and realizing it. And then telling everyone on my platform, be like, yeah, I went through depression, like I, give off this, and this is how I am and whatnot, but anyone can have depression. Anyone can have, a mental illness, and it doesn't define you. not many people, would know that I have depression. It's not something that I'm like, oh my gosh, it's not something I talk about all the time because it doesn't matter. That's part of me, and I'm fine talking about it. I'm fine being open about it, but it doesn't define me.
Yeah, 100%. And I think it's incredibly brave that you've stepped out and you are willing to talk about this, because I do think that in professions like veterinary, where you guys are held to such a high standard, so many people are scared to reach out for help or stop and be like, hang on, there's a problem. Let's address this. And obviously, that is just a people problem. But I feel like in professions like vet med, it is way higher, because like you said, you're hardwired to be the one helping, right? So yeah, that's incredible. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Right,
yeah. And then just my last question, if there was somebody who was really interested in getting involved in this sort of work or in doing something similar, what would your advice to them be?
Well, my number one advice to anyone wanting to get into the veterinary field, wanting to, be anywhere from assistant to a veterinarian, whenever they say, what is your advice for me? It's always the same thing. My two pieces of advice are: one, get your hands dirty. So I want, people to, whenever they want to get into the veterinary field, I'm like, start shadowing, get a job, get in the field, start, working at a clinic hands on, and get your hands dirty. Because I think people are always afraid to, to jump in there and start doing things. But whenever you jump in and you're like, hey, can I place this IV catheter? Hey, can I do this? Hey, can I watch you do this? That getting your hands dirty, makes it a whole lot easier, and asking all the questions and not being afraid to ask questions or get your hands dirty. That's what, everyone likes to see, even though I'm not going to verbally say that out loud.
Yeah.
And then my other piece of advice is don't be afraid to laugh. Like, don't be afraid to have fun in your job, because I feel like so many people get caught up in going through the motions in the day-to-day work, and okay, we need to do this. Excuse me.
Sorry.
Excuse me. And they forget to just joke around a little bit, and they forget to have fun, and they forget that there can be fun involved, and you can crack a joke once in a while. It's okay. Just learn to have fun at your job as well, because if you're not having fun, if you can't get along with your coworkers, then every single day is going to be just HE double hockey sticks for you. So that's what I would recommend for anyone. As far as my job as being a content creator, my number one advice for people would be, if they want to, have a channel of whatever it is in the veterinary industry, or, whatever it is, to find that specific niche of who you are talking to / what your videos are going to be about, and stick with that and go down just that avenue. It has to be a very narrow avenue, actually, a very narrow niche, so that you can collect your audience and you can be talking to those people. Because if you think about it, if you're going on social media and scrolling through videos, you are wondering, what makes you follow somebody? What, you see a video, you click on their profile, you start scrolling through more of their videos, what makes you follow them? So for me, I want people to be able to follow me because they see that my videos are positive. They make them laugh. They're not offensive. I don't talk badly about pet owners. I don't, bash the field in general. I address that there's issues, but I'm not going to sit around and complain about them. Let's actually do something about it. So I hope that, that would be one of the reasons people follow me.
Yeah, that's awesome. Cool. Well, thank you so much, Sarah. Is there anything that you would like to add before we close off?
No, just, hi everyone, and, you can go follow me if you don't already. And, I'm super happy that, that I was even considered for this. And, there's so many other nominees out there, that have done amazing work. I was scrolling through, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going up against these guys. Like, what? So I'm just happy to be here.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me. I really loved this interview. You just have such a great energy about you. And thank you so much for the work that you're doing. It's so important, creating these platforms and talking about these things. And it's very clear, through the nominations that you receive, many people appreciate what you're putting out there. So yeah, thank you from everybody at Worldwide Vet.
Okay, thank